Hi! So today we'll be discussing the One by Kiera Cass. It's the last book in the selection series, and I wish it was longer because I wiped this out in a day and a half. Okay, so before I start talking about the one, I'm gonna share a little insight on my life. You may or may not really care, but I find it kind of cool. So my school has this fundraiser every year, and it's called the fashion show. You just sign up to do it, and there's a runway. It's a really nice place. So I signed up to do it, and so there's tons of us. Like, there's a bunch of us, and there's only a few hairdressers and makeup artists. So I do it, and it was like the Hunger Games in there. Like, it was competitive. So like I said, there's only a few hairdressers. There's so many of us. So you go and you wait. And you're waiting for a long time, and you finally find one that's available. You go up and say, "Hey, could you do my hair?" And they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, but so-and-so just said I would do their hair, and I don't know where they are." So apparently people were now just like going and say, "Hey, could you do my hair after?" and leaving instead of like waiting like everyone else. And there should have been like maybe like a name chart, I felt. But anyways, that's not really important to why. But anyways, I'm waiting and I'm waiting. This one woman comes up and she's like, "Hey, can I do your hair?" I'm like, "Sure." She does my hair. She doesn't use a curling iron or straightener, so I'm kind of wondering, what is she doing? She hands me the mirror after, and I felt like America Singer from the One, and I have pictures here showing it. Like, it made me go home and pose like that. I just thought that was awesome. And I don't know if you really cared about that, but there you go. Anyways, let's start talking about the One. First of all, it's a signed copy. I actually originally ordered it on Amazon, pre-ordered, but then I was on Tumblr one night just randomly, and I saw this. If you order from Target, you could get a signed copy. Well, I'm just like canceling my order on Amazon. I was like, we're getting the signed copy. I'm very proud of it, and I read it a lot. That's why I haven't took off the little sticker that says signed by the author, because I think it deserves its place there. So this book was an interesting beginning. I already was ready to slap America by chapter 1, and it made me cringe the way she acted. She's like, "Well, the king says I'm not like the other girls, so I'm going to try to be more seductive." Okay, well, America, you can't just go do that out of randomly in front of people. And besides, in chapter 2, in that one moment, he knows you, so he's no, this is not your character. So, though I gotta admit, there were not as many times where I was cringing at America, though there were many times. And so this is really spoilerish, so if you don't want to be spoiled, I suggest not watching this because I'm just gonna be jumping random parts of the book. Okay, so all the people who are here because they want to be spoiled or just want to see this book talk about this lovely book. I love this, and like I said, I wiped out a day and a half. I was an emotional wreck near the end, and if you read this, you know what's going on in the end. And it was so funny because I stopped at the part where he says, "Oh, I just can't wait to get rid of you," after he finds that whole awkward scene with Aspen and America. And so I have to go to church now. So I go to church. It's more or less they're pleasing America the Beautiful. Like, I'm thinking, really? And so we're singing this, and it goes, "America, America." Yeah, that was like, I'm pretty sure I had this like dumb grin on my face because I'm just thinking about the book. I loved this book. I love the rooftop scene. I felt like that was just so adorable, how they're in the rain and all of a sudden it's like they're just kissing and they're dancing. The dancing I could see maybe be like a little cheesy, but this was perfect. It was just perfect for this book, and I love that. This is going on. The king finds out. So at the end, though, this is a dramatic jump. The king dies. Okay, I didn't really care when I found out the king died. Cause I'm like, jerk. I don't care. The queen, I was like, really? The queen has to go? Just really? Oh. I was so mad. This book, which is plot twist after plot twist after plot twist, just coming. So Maxon wants America to say, "Tell me you love me," and America's like, "I don't want to be the first one," which, seriously, America, he loves you. Like, he wouldn't do half the stuff he does for you if he didn't love you. So basically, he already said, so just go on and say it. So Maxon kind of thinks, maybe if I could show her my room. So, they start making out, and she's gonna tell her she loves him. And a guard just intrudes, and he whispers something to Maxon, and Maxon's like, "Yeah, I hate to tell you this, but your dad died." What? Where did that come from? That was my question. Like, apparently he had a heart disease, and I'm like, okay, this is just so we could delay it more. So America is now back in the palace after her dad's funeral and everything, and Max then comes up to her. He's like, yeah, I really love you. Will you marry me? And she's like, yeah, sure, I like you. And so there's this one scene. Then Max is like, I gotta leave. I'll be right back. And she's like, okay. America's walking, because Aspen walked in on that awkward moment. Of course he did. I like to call him Aspirin because he just does give me a headache and he's annoying. Anyway, so America's like, listen, I'm sorry, just this isn't going right. And he's like, kind of giving her the accusing eye, which in the plane she basically told him, hey dude, it's over. But he's just too stubborn to realize it. So America just like grabs him kind of like, listen, I don't mean anything about this. And of course Max had to come around the corner with Chris, and Max was like, oh my gosh, you were cheating on me. I thought you were, but I was kind of scared to say it. And so I am like an emotional disturbance. I'm like, no, this is not happening. No, she loves you, Max. It's just... Then he doesn't even let America explain her reasons behind this. And I was like, really? Just let her explain. I think you would understand. So then we're at this banquet, the reception, where he announces, hey, Chris is the one I chose. And America's like looking at Aspen, just like seeing his expression. Max is like, oh, don't worry. You'll have time to talk to him later. Are you arranging a time to talk to him? I was so mad. And then I kind of had a feeling something was gonna happen. I wasn't sure what, but I had a feeling something's gonna happen this scene because I didn't think it was gonna end like this. Turns out the guards that were sent to the selections houses ended up being killed and attacked, and the rebels, Southern rebels, took their uniforms and put them on, and they were posed as guards at this reception. They started attacking people. I was really mad though with Celeste because even though she was a jerk through the first and second book, she actually was very nice in this book, and I liked how that happened, how everyone kind of just became friends. It's kind of cute and adorable, and I loved it. So at the beginning of the book, around chapter 6, America is woken from her sleep, and she's like, oh, come downstairs, the prince wants you. And she's thinking something happened with my family here, so she just rushes out, and Max is like, no, there's these rebels here, they want to talk to us. Turns out the rebels were, the girl was the one America saw in the elite during that one attack, and so they're talking like the rebels want to make peace with them, kind of like say, hey, we're gonna help you, we don't like this other rebels. Well, first they're kind of like, how can we trust these people? Well, turns out they can trust them. So later on they find this news out where it's kind of like shocking, so they have to go get a note to them. So they kind of dress as like aides, and so Maxon's like, hey America, I want you to stay here because it's dangerous. And America, her stubbornness, is like, nope, I'm going. And so she goes, and I actually gotta give it to America, at least she actually listened this time, especially when the Southern rebels started to attack. Because Max told her, if something happens, you run. And that's what she did. So I was kind of really happy that she got a bullet in her arm. So that kind of just like put a damper on all of it. But anyway, so they're in Aspen's room. Because they can't really take her to the hospital wing because then they'd be like, where was she? How she would have got a bullet in her arm? And then that would cause a bunch of trouble. So America is just like sitting there, and you see this note on Aspen's wall. It's like, I will always love you, all this stuff. And Maxon, I kind of figured Maxon didn't already know already, but he kind of says, oh, that must have been nice to have someone to write you like that. Okay, so back to when I said when the dad died and he wrote the letter, I was right. He was a Northern rebel. He might not have been the Southern rebel. I didn't know. I just thought he was a rebel. I wasn't sure if he was Northern or Southern. I just knew he was a rebel. I was like kind of proud of myself for figuring that out. Like, yeah, figured that out. Anyways, that's all I can really think of at this moment. I might make a part 2. I don't know. It just depends on if I get any other ideas or not. But thank you for watching this, and feel free to share your comments. Bye!
All I know is we said